Welcome to the Mystery College YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of the 60 Skills curriculum and coursework. So we're going to go over all the programs that 60 Skills has to offer and all the other types of things that Bob Smith covers in his 60 Skills curriculum. We're going to go over his website, his social media, and also have a deep dive and look into some of the coursework he actually provides. Since I am a member and have paid for his Patreon, as well as some of his live courses, some of his Kabbalah courses, and so on. I really enjoy his coursework. I know him pretty well personally. So let's go straight into the analysis. I'm going to show you my screen. So let's go straight with an introduction. So the 60 Skills is a curriculum that incorporates a lot of the practices that were established by Franz Barden back in the day. And it also includes a lot of extra body work so that you can strengthen your body, strengthen your ability to conduct, create, channel chi energy so that you can connect your facial tissue and be able to internally develop energy. So I first met Bob in person back in 2018, 6-7 years ago, and have been in contact with him ever since. So I've met with or traveled with Bob across 3 different continents, like Europe, South America, Asia, all over the place. So we've had lots of journeys, trips, adventures together. And I've also helped him with publishing his first book, Initial Experiences of Kabbalah, along with his friend Rorden Phobos. So yeah, so I've kind of helped behind the scenes in some bits and aspects and stuff, as well as helping him film and produce one of his first courses he published, with the Building the Ball course. I also helped out with this goofy little logo if I whipped together in Canva in like 15 minutes with him, just to get like something going. So this was like the first logo, but now the 60 Skills logo is more developed. It's got a cool blue, purple hue vibe going, and it looks great. Yeah, but I have, some personal investment in 60 Skills curriculum, and also I'm a firm believer in it, and I've done a lot of the practices and find immense value in it. And I also highly recommend it, and have led a lot of even my students to take some of his coursework, especially his free 3 transformations course. I think it's the best explanation on one of the best explanations on internal alchemy that I have experienced, in its simplicity, in its efficaciousness, as well as in its conciseness. That's one of the key things that Bob has, is he has the ability to be incredibly concise with his methodologies, and for a lot of students, it really clears any mud that might be in the water, because oftentimes people go on and esoterics and explain phenomena, but they don't explain methodology, and they don't explain the mechanics or metaphysics behind it. Bob isn't very talented at distilling the essence of a teaching into its component parts and communicating it as clearly as possible. So that's why I often recommend him to folks. So I've literally spent hundreds of hours with him in person, both practicing or just visiting with him as a friend. So I also know him interpersonally and know that he has like a very high quality character, and his constitution definitely reflects his practice that he does. So when we both started our teaching journey, like teaching some of the different types of work from Franz Barden or different internal art systems, we both talked about the Greek god Prometheus a lot, and the idea of bringing fire from Mount Olympus as an allegory back down to the people, because we both went through a lot of trials and tribulations to get in touch with that fire from the mountain, so to speak. So, and we're really excited and enthused to share it. So, of course, he had a much longer journey into this thing, and he's been practicing longer than I've been alive, these types of energetic systems and practices. And so he has an immense amount of wisdom and value to offer folks. And so that's why I'm so emphatically a supporter and a fan of the work that he has to offer. So one of the things you'll notice about Bob, if you look over his curriculum or if you dive deeper into his work and you get in contact with some of his fellow students, is that a lot of them actually accelerate past his level in certain areas, like say if they focus on a certain meditation or Kabbalah letter, in as little as 3 years. You'll see this. And to me, that's exactly what I like to see in a teacher, is when I see their students within a reasonable amount of time matching or surpassing their skills. That's one of the best indications of a high quality, fantastic teacher to me, is knowing that the students are getting the same, similar, or exceeding results. So that should give you some insight into the quality of his character, his transparency, and his willingness and openness and gifting all the teachings, all the capacities and skills that he has to offer. So I like to measure a teacher by the growth of their students. And so, and Bob, definitely you'll see that as you investigate him further. So my chief thesis is that if you're looking for an incredibly concise system of esoteric development, then 60 Skills is a fantastic resource to explore. And we're also going to go over like his different websites, his social medias, Patreons together in this video. But first, let's hop into some of the pros and cons of his curriculum. So the 60 Skills takes like an engineering first principles approach to spirituality, looking really deep into the metaphysics, the principles behind the who, how, why, what, where, and to what extent of different meditative practices. So this means, what is energy? How do you generate energy? What is vital energy, or Jing? What is astral energy, or Qi? He often refers to astral energy as Qi in his videos. Or Shen, or mental energy. What about Akasha, also known as Wuji? What about non-dual light, also known as Tao? So he's very good at like condensing these types of really complicated systems that in other systems take years to even like experience. Like in some systems it takes years, even a decade, to even experience Qi for the first time. But in the 60 Skills curriculum, you will be building the ball. You're going to be feeling Qi very quickly. So there's tons of like free videos on his YouTube channels. So I definitely recommend you checking out his YouTube channel. So I'll even just pull it up real quickly here. So if we go to his 60 Skills channel, and you're welcome to like check out 60 Skills, this URL, or you just search it on YouTube, will pop up. And you'll see that he has a lot of videos. He puts a lot of effort into cool thumbnails, high production quality, and going over a huge variety of different subjects. So if you come here, you can see there's also tons more links to different coursework, his Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. And you also can follow him on Instagram, other places where he also does like short form videos. He does that here as well. So let's switch back to the mind map here. Let's go. Where is it? There we go. He's got a lot of generous amounts of his master course available free to preview on his website. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he has a lot of the theory portion on his website, 60skills.com. If you come all the way over here to curriculum right there, you click that, and you just scroll down. There's this huge table of contents here that you can go through any little bit and part of this. And then you're going to see that there's all these different things you can preview.
Ready to get into your car to go pick up your kids from daycare.
Right? So let's say this is like an hour and a half course. And in this hour and a half course, he's got like 20 minutes of the theory portion that you can investigate and listen to and really integrate. And one of 60's strongest skills or abilities is explaining the theory portion in a really concise way so that people understand it, because that's often where people tend to get stuck in analysis paralysis, is with the theory portion of esoteric practice. So you go to the 60 Skills curriculum here, and you can really do a deep dive and investigation into the curriculum of it and see if it's a good fit for you. So that's definitely something I recommend. You can dive into this for hours and get a ton of value, practical value that you can apply today. Let's see here. Let's go back to the board mix here. So he also provides like energy transmissions for more advanced skills such as Kabbalah, planetary magic, spirit magic, and he does these through his live workshops that he does, usually on Sundays or Saturdays. So he'll usually have a initiation hermetics one where he goes over some of the the steps in initiation hermetics, or he'll go over the steps of the 60 skills curriculum. And he'll also do a workshop where he focuses specifically on Kabbalah letters. So that's the Kabbalah letters is where you're especially going to get the energy transmissions. And if you haven't had an energy transmission before, I highly recommend you try it out with Bob Smith. It's very amazing. He's very talented at it. And the one of the hidden things that I don't really know if people know about this is that he actually has a really active Discord, and it's a really active. There's dozens and dozens of messages that go through it each day for the 60 skills curriculum Discord, as well as the Kabbalah course curriculum. And the only way you can get access to those Discords is if you either enroll in his master course, or if you enroll in and go to one of his live classes for either the Kabbalah one, if you want to get into the Kabbalah Discord, or for the through the 60, if you want to get into the 60 skills Discord, you'll need to either buy one of his solo classes that you can get through Perseus, Arcane Academy, or you can purchase one of his live 60 skills training courses. So that's another way you can get a feel if you resonate with him, resonate with his curriculum, and want to do a deep dive into that. So, he's just not holding back anything from any students at all. If you ask him any questions, he'll answer as transparently and openly as humanly possible, even if it's a personal question. So another thing I really admire about what 60's doing is he's doing a lot of cutting edge stuff with Kabbalah, doing meditations on the Zodiac framework, and also going into the Tree of Life. And he's publicly documenting it through Perseus Arcane Academy, through his blog, and also and just really being as open as possible. And so this is something where a lot of teachers in the Hermetics community aren't really like going into, or they just haven't done that exploration themselves. So he is really open, willing to explore, experiment, and adapt, and be open about his failures in the process of trying new things. And that's something for me that develops a lot of trust in him for me, because he's open and willing to admit, like, hey, I experimented and this didn't work. And that's where this engineering mindset, the scientist mindset, comes into play, where he has a hypothesis, he tests it out, and it succeeds, a ton of the time, and sometimes it doesn't succeed. And it's that same mindset that is going to instill success in the meditative practice. So he really lives, breathes, sleeps, embodies this quality of iterating, of improving exponentially with his practice personally. And that also translates into his coursework and what you're going to get as a student or as a member of one of his communities. So his system of 60 skills is really well organized. There's 10 steps to it. And it's a very nice, successful adaptation and evolution of the Franz Barton initiation hermetics framework, with some slight adaptations, namely with body work and also a few other ways of doing, like concentration, meditation exercises that may be more easier suited for a lot of people. I really like the body conditioning and training methodologies he has in there, and it's often really overlooked in modern schools of meditation, because there isn't, because like 100 years ago, 90% of society was agrarian, lived on farms, so everyone had really tempered bodies. Like, we had facial webs that were really connected, and the facial web is what conducts qi in our body, if you look into like Chinese medical textbooks. So that being said, masters had to took it for granted that they could conduct qi really easily throughout their body, or feel energy sensations in certain areas, because they did a lot of body training. They were plowing carts, they were milking cows, they were walking all day, every day, from one end of the field to the other, or whatever type of agrarian work they were doing. Because for most of human history, if we weren't nomadic, we were, doing pasture type work or whatever. So keeping that in mind, a lot of new systems don't have that in place. So then people do all the meditation, they sit, they meditate hours and hours, and they don't get the energetic results because their body tissue isn't connected enough. So the 60 skills curriculum is really good at connecting your body tissue together either through qigong work, or through actual strength training and weight training, which helps you develop a lot more explosive power, energetic power. So let's go deeper into some of the different course offerings. So he has the Patreon account, which is about $8 to $12 a month, and it has 120 different videos for you to explore. Half of those videos are theory videos, and then half of those are practice videos where he actually practices along with you, which is really, really valuable. This used to be on the iPhone App Store and the Android App Store, but it recently moved over to Patreon. And I'll show you that in a bit. I'll show you a sneak peek inside my Patreon inside to see the 60 skills curriculum. And the production quality is really high quality. Like it's filmed in set locations all around the Middle East and the beautiful countryside. So they're really pleasant and awesome to follow along with. You can check out his initial experiences to Kabbalah book, which I believe is anywhere from $15 to $30. I haven't checked, but that's a nice way to kind of vibe and feel out, his writing style. I think it's his only published work at this exact time, but I'm sure he has more books in him for the future. So he also has 2 different 90-minute live stream classrooms that he does each Sunday. They're about $25 each. $28 with a service fee through the Eventbrite, and really good value, really worth it. And I really recommend you try the Kabbalah course, the one of his 60 skills focused courses at least once, because at the very least it's going to give you access to a private community that's really high quality. And I feel even a little bad for talking about that community because I'm concerned that folks may just join in and dilute it. So, it's really high quality. It's really concentrated. The people in there are very serious. But if you're looking for that kind of environment or having that type of peer group to do this type of inner work, then absolutely worth it. Best value by far. He also has his $50 mini courses that you can get through Perseus Arcane Academy. I'll show you that later. And then he also has a $700 Kabbalah course. He has a series of these courses that he's releasing. He has his base course, and then he recently released a planetary course where he goes through the planets and you get to follow along with him there. And then he has his master course, which it's like a really comprehensive master course that goes into his 10-step framework in depth. And you can go kind of deep into the theory of the master course through that link I showed you before on his main website, where he freely gives out a good chunk of the theory portion. But then if you want to go into the practice, if you want to have a lot of structure or community and support, then getting this master course would be ideal. And then he offers one-on-one training with select folks. But that's could be something you have to talk to him about, and it's a much more personalized, customized, and it's a really high degree of accountability. I've spoken to him a little bit about, just in general terms, like how he conducts his private trainings with people, and it sounds like his students are getting tremendous results from that and tremendous value. And he also is very generous with what he offers there. So if that's something you're looking to investigate, I definitely invite you to. But it's definitely not for everybody, and his time's very limited, and so that's also reflected in the price as well, which is totally reasonable. So let's go into a couple cons. If you're not willing to do the work that's provided in the curriculum, you're simply not going to get results. And that's basically true of any system that you investigate, any system that you explore. And it's not really for people who are hardcore traditionalists that you have to follow a book this way or that way. It's more for people who want to feel energy and be able to listen to their intuition, listen to their gut in relation to the practices they're doing. If you want to follow a specific methodology to the bone, exactly as it's presented in a book, in a fundamentalist way with a specific interpretation, then it may not work for you, because that type of thinking in general, at least I've found in my experience, has been a disservice when I've thought like that or approached books or frameworks that way. And it's pretty known that like some traditionalists in the esoteric and internal forces community don't particularly like 60 because he tends to overshare insider information, and he also has a few hot points, a few hot topics, and he also is doing a lot of cutting edge stuff, which means that some things are anecdotally his experiences and they're not yet shared experiences from the community. So and traditionalists in general tend to hold information to themselves, which absolutely made sense historically in the context of esoteric communities or internal martial arts frameworks or anything where people did worked with intrinsic energies or metaphysics, because it's don't it's not good to share these types of teachings with just everybody. There's a sacredness in silence versus sharing materials. So yeah, but in modernity, if someone's seeking the information out, then it's more likely appropriate for them to be able to learn or have access to something. And folks who do encounter it, who are not in resonance or in line with it, tend to just brush it off and won't actually integrate for them. And I've noticed this with family members or with friends, or when I've discussed with other friends who do internal practices like this, that their family just doesn't really understand what they do, and it doesn't really affect their relationships or anything at all, and they just don't share it with them. But between friends or colleagues who were practicing these things, or people who are interested and actively inquiring, and who are doing through curiosity and an open heart, then I'm happy to share as much information as serves them. Of course, oversharing can rob people the opportunity of things, as well as undersharing. So just finding what type of right balance makes sense for people if they're interested. So in conclusion, I definitely recommend you check out his courses and his resources. His Kabbalah course is awesome. As well, his live courses are by far the best value, and also gives you access to the Discord groups. And that's another way to get yourself plugged in, keep yourself accountable, have accountability buddies within the context of the group. So now we're going to go straight into his curriculum a little bit. Let's check out his Perseus. So if you go to courses on PerseusArcaneAcademy.com, and you click here, 60 skills, you're going to see he has lots of different courses. You can go through his courses one by one, like level 1, level 2, etc. Or you can buy courses a la carte. But all these courses are included in his master course right here. So if you want to just get it all at once, save some cash, master course makes sense. Yeah, so I really like his Kabbalah course. I've taken that and enjoyed the practice. Really good transmissions, really good theory portions. Definitely worth exploring and going into. I haven't gone through the planetary Kabbalah yet, but I'd love to. So I may inquire for that, or maybe I'll purchase it at some point. And I already have my own practice where I do my own Kabbalah. I do my own planetary Kabbalah as well. But I love connecting with other people's systems, frameworks, and it gives me so much perspective and insight into my own. And also helps me understand some of the gaps in my understanding, and also helps me create better coursework for anyone else who's taking my courses, since I actively update my courses. So, I think sharing and learning with other people and having the humility to see people's strengths is so valuable. So that's my approach to learning from other people, other teachers. Just being a lifelong learner is so much more fun. And so here's this. We already went over his YouTube, his Instagram, the Discord a little bit. But you can see like a lot of these messages, 1,000 messages that I have not read from the Discord, and most of those are from the 60 Skills Discords. So that just gives you a sense of how active it is. It's seriously very active. It's great. Then we have his Patreon here, and his Patreon is where you can access some of his videos. Like here's one. Here's an example of let's see here. But you can see all these beautiful locations and sets and ancient temples. The temples themselves have a ton of energy, a ton of charge that you can tune into once you gain a little more energy sensitivity. But let's say we connect with this one, mental thought control theory. So we have a really cool theory video section. All these videos work really well in vertical too. You'll notice that it's, yeah, so you can watch these horizontally or vertically. So there's a lot of thought put into the production of these. Let's see here. And on his Facebook, he will post his live events often. I think he might still do that through his email newsletter. I'm not sure I'm a part of that. But he'll have these Eventbrites. You can go to his Eventbrite and then sign up for these, or follow him on Eventbrite so you get emails when he posts his weekly live classes. He's not doing a live this week, but he usually does. And if you want to go on Reddit or something, some people ask questions about 60 Skills or Franz Barton, compares them. So you can also just see what people are talking about on forums and get a consensus from that as well, right? Because this is just my opinion or my perspective and take from, having a lot of time training with him, speaking with him, being familiar with his curriculum, and so on. And so inside, let's say we can look inside his 60 Skills Kabbalah course or his 3 Transformations course just a little bit. So there's like Discord group stuff. There's tons of materials here, tons of stuff on fire letters, just tons of materials. And then there's a 3 Transformations course, which is totally free. You can just get it through Perseus. Lots of videos, lots of content, and it's going to give you a skill that's going to fundamentally transform your practice if you don't have this capacity to transform like energy from vital to astral to mental to akasha and so on. Like that skill is going to make your training so much easier in Hermetics or Tai Chi or Taoism or any energetic framework that you're working with. It doesn't really matter. This stuff is so translatable to everything. So let's see. That's all I have to share for this particular video. If you have any questions about the 60 Skills framework or curriculum, definitely contact 60 Skills, contact Bob Smith, and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer your questions or help you out. If you join that Discord community, they're all extremely helpful, really dedicated to their practice. So it's a really good community, super helpful. I highly recommend working with 60 Skills.